Yeah. Me definitely. Me and my wife have already. And we got another sample when we were back there, and we're like, we left, and we're like, here we go. What is that plan? My parents. And I figured out the problem. So. No.
Now back to the Tucson Tasty Show with Wesley Sorce and Pastor Jon McLane on 1030 The Voice.
Yummy. Promise we have some amazing guests here. We have Kiki Rogers of Country Financial Insurance and Kiki's best friend. And
that's true.
And go ahead.
My youngest daughter, this is Sakura. And
she is. I have Sean on the phone. I think we did miss out on bringing him with, but let's talk about ERC Junction really quick. And one of the things that I love about ERC Junction is the fact that he will look at the ERC credit from the IRS and he doesn't charge you a penny. If that,
or you could,
the show is broadcast on.
You could try to take a bite out of your monitor watching it on YouTube, but you know, yeah, you're right. Fair enough. Probably not as delicious as this amazing jerky that
I know. I'm still eating this jerky and the
cracked I know pepper. You didn't. This is supposed to be John's Tasty Bites. Tasty Bites with Pastor Jon McLane. Not eat all of my food and only let me have 1 or 2 bites with Pastor Jon McLane. That's a really long name.
When you say that, I'm reminded of the Sermon on the Mount.
Okay.
Jesus fed everyone.
Well, he did feed everyone. He got some food too, though. Goodness.
Doesn't say Jesus didn't eat.
Yeah. Jesus got to eat too. Goodness.
You guys crack me up. Well, I can see why they're fighting over this, folks, because this Vera Earl premium beef, the sticks and the jerky is phenomenal. And so glad to hear we can purchase it directly from the ranch or from the local stores, you were saying.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's
a little distracted over here.
We got a little one with us.
That's the best distraction right there.
It is. It's good. And I'll tell you what, they are my toughest critics. So if she's sitting here eating them, you know, they're pretty darn good.
Yes. Absolutely. And they don't lie, especially at this age. They definitely don't lie.
They do.
If she thought you had a fat butt and an ugly face, she's gonna let you know.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I did want to remind everybody that's out in Radio Land and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else that we're at. If you have a question or a recommendation, email the Tucson Tasty Show at gmail.com. And the best question will not only be read on the air during the next show, you'll also win a dinner at the Arizona Sands Club in the north end of the Arizona Stadium.
Oh, what a nice offer.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
You can write in. You can get a free dinner, Kiki.
Absolutely. Whoever has the best question, it's out to everybody.
Interesting. What is the meaning of life? Does that count?
Well, pertaining to food and the show. See?
Well, food can be the meaning of life.
Yeah. It is the meaning of life.
Our
it's our meaning of life for this show.
We wouldn't have life.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a very good life. I mean, can you imagine if all you had to eat was flavorless, tasteless, textureless?
You were in the military.
Yeah.
That's why
he was in the Air Force. It's very different when it comes to the food.
Better food in the Air Force than the Army.
If we don't build a dining facility first, we don't have a base.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully we have other suppliers here in Tucson. So thank you so much for coming in.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. It's always fun to stop in, and a little different this time because I provided the food, but
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, no, you're the focus of the show today. So
I think in the past when we had you bring the food, we actually prepared it at home and then talked about it later. So this was cool.
We showed off frozen cuts the last time. So
and I had some of that ground beef, that like premium, top notch,
yes,
bougie Billy.
I know what I'm doing for dinner tonight now. No,
I had a chance to actually have some of your brisket because Wes and Tina invited my husband and family and I over for New Year's Eve.
That was the beef shank.
That was the beef shank. Okay, forgive me, but it was from Vera Earl.
It was Vera Earl premium beef. Yes. And what I seasoned it with. Now, this is a testament to the quality of beef, because when I don't put anything but salt and pepper and maybe a little olive oil on the outside, that means that it's a good cut of beef.
And that was very, very good.
I didn't do anything but salt and pepper on it, and it was melt in your mouth, and the flavor on it was incredible. And then that bone marrow, because it was a bone-in beef shank, so all of it just comes right out the top, and just it was absolutely incredible and just delicious, and
but yet lean.
My mouth is just watering. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
And so as soon as we left, my husband Aaron asked, "How can I get this kind of beef? You know, you can't get it at the grocery stores around here, can you?
Not
They
yet.
were not. Yeah. So how can someone get in touch with Vera Earl or find you guys if you wanted to purchase some meat?
So again, as Wesley says, you can find us online at vepremiumbeef.com. And you can also, I mean, if you Google Vera Earl Premium Beef, we will pop right up for you. And you can come visit our storefront down in Sonoyta. And we're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. And you can come right in. You pick out your own cuts of meat. You know, we don't just go in the back and grab something. It's not pre-order. We'll sell it by the cut. You can leave with 1 pound of ground beef. You can leave with half a cow.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like a candy store for beef. Except for not like a butcher shop necessarily. It's like literally like a candy store for beef, and they just open up their refrigerators, and then you hear these angels go, oh,
well,
and then
everybody thought I was weird when I was saying that, you know, I want to go chew on that cow over there, but that's because I can see the cuts of beef, and I know it's in there.
Yeah, and when you bit the cow, that was weird, but yeah, we at least rolled with it.
Hey, there's a first for everything.
It was a full moon. I take no responsibility.
Anyways, yeah, but you can come down and visit us, and we'll help you through it if you don't know anything. And if you do, I mean, we'll point you in the right direction. We've got just about every cut you can imagine, and you know, everybody that's there is really knowledgeable and is always willing to help you figure out how to cook it if you have questions. And if you want something special that we don't have, we process weekly, so usually I can get it for you. Yeah.
And thank you for doing that for me for Christmas, because you saved my Christmas. I
would say I saved your bacon, but I saved your beef.
You saved my beef.
Nice.
Well played,
Sonora. Well played, Sonora from Sonoyta.
We had the bone-in prime ribeye, essentially, right? I mean, premium ribeye, if you will, but it was beyond prime. I mean, the flavor on it was close to a lot of the Wagyu that I'd eaten. So, I mean, it's that over-the-top flavor that's just absolutely delicious that you can't get anywhere else. Well, you can get it at other places, but it's a lot more expensive, and it's not locally grown. Speaking of very knowledgeable people, how did you get into your position? What was the kind of the path? I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I mean, you have some incredible background in education as well. Will you share with our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's actually kind of a stereotypical, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's how I initially got the job. That is
life, yes.
One of my best friends from childhood is one of the foremen of one of our ranches.
Okay.
And when my predecessor was stepping back, he actually reached out and asked if I wanted a job. And I had obviously had a full-time job. And then the company I was working for, well, actually, when I had my first son, I went to working from home part-time. And then when COVID came around, I kind of got furloughed. And so I was doing just a stay-at-home mom thing, doing some side projects here and there, but it wasn't a lot. And I had just kind of started looking at getting back into the workforce. And when he got a hold of me with it, I wasn't too sure about it. And but I went ahead and talked, and I had always wanted to end up back in agriculture anyways. My previous job was actually in the beauty industry. So total 180.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I ended up taking the job. And of course, I had learned a lot of this in college, hadn't utilized it for quite a while. And so a lot of it came back rather quickly. And I grew up in the industry. You know, I showed cattle. I did these things. So I had that base knowledge, and I come from an ag family. But because I enjoy it and I love it, like I'm still learning to this day. And that's what I tell people, anybody that comes in, and even our other employees, you know, well, I'm not sure if I know everything. I don't know everything.
Right.
I'm still learning cuts. I mean, when you stop learning is when you should leave, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because If you're not growing, you're not. If you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, then you're stagnant, and it's boring.
Yeah.
And usually things die when they stop growing.
That too. Yeah. So you have a master's degree in agriculture, is that correct?
I do, yeah. I have my master's in agricultural education, actually. And
you were in the beauty industry after you got that?
No, I actually worked full time while I was going to college. My running joke is I did homework at work and work at school. And so I did marketing in the beauty industry for 8 years.
Wow.
And that kind of gave me my base. I wanted to blend. It was kind of an unknown passion. It was a job that fell in my lap. I didn't know I was going to like marketing. I never had the faintest clue that I would go into it. And so what I wanted to do was blend marketing and ag and kind of find something that I could do. And so I actually did my thesis on agritourism within the wine industry in Sonoyta. And so I learned a lot about things like value co-creation and interacting with your clients. And so that's something that I feel I do apply here at this job. And, perfect example is transparency. We're always transparent. We'll tell you anything. We'll show you anything. We've had you guys out, that we have nothing to hide. Yeah. And
you
that's
even
something...
took us to the little torture basement and everything. It was great.
I was going to say, you hit that
no one's supposed to know about that.
You hit that one tree in that field and my drone hit it, but yeah. No.
Yeah.
That was 100% my fault.
For sure. I mean, I definitely just speak to that transparency piece.
Absolutely.
Like, there's not too many organizations, particularly one like yours, that just like really just pulls you behind the curtain. I mean, it seems like not even like something you were special doing for us because we had cameras and we're a radio show, but like it seems like that's the practice. When your customers come in, all right, hey, this is the front. Here, come see our refrigerators full of meat and kind of see how it's done. And if you want to come out to the ranch, that's like 8 million acres, we will show you that. And it was really intimate experience. I certainly suggest that other people, particularly if you live anywhere near Sonoyta, even if you don't live anywhere near Sonoyta, which is not as far as you'd think, check it out. It's a vibe.
Yeah, and I feel honored because we've actually been invited out there for a couple of the roundups. So I'm looking forward to that in, I think, what is it, April, May?
We'll start branding end of March, beginning of April, and we'll get you guys out there.
Super excited about that. Fun. And then
that's it.
That's all. At the end of the day, again, just remind listeners how they can find Vera Earl Premium Beef. And that's about a wrap.
Don't forget to listen and follow us and subscribe on YouTube, the Tucson Tasty Show 520, and also Facebook, Instagram, and we're also on all the podcast platforms. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much for coming into the show today. Thank you, Kiki and Sonora. Thank you to our sponsors. That's Kiki Rogers with Country Financial Insurance, Pitcher Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Veteran Rescue Mission, The Guys Next Door, ERC Junction, and Mafia Kitchen. I'm Wesley Sorce, host of the Tucson Tasty Show, here with Pastor Jon McLane, my wingman and co-host. We'll see you next week at the same time, 3 to 4. Stay tasty, Tucson.
We were singing bye.